Lawrence it is, 26 not out, he's using his feet. Ashwin's finding down the left side, and Lawrence will be stumped by about half a yard.
Go on then, Mackie, you're the wicket keeper. What about that stumping?
We have seen some works of art in this match. I would happily have photos of those on my wall at home if my wife would let me.
And is that out or not? Is that out? It is out, yes, given out by Virender Sharma. Stokesy does not think he's hit that ball, does he? Or is he walking off because he's walking off because he has hit it?
He's almost like a root, you know, he goes into a net and he's got something he's working on. He's striving to be the best.
This one, he swept it to the leg side. Is it out to mid-wicket? It is! And Ishant Sharma takes the catch, and Ollie Pope's innings is over.
I suppose that we've done a job on him there, haven't we? Ollie Pope looks so good. Tell us about him, Bats. Top edge.
Remember a couple of days ago when Jared Kimber called Axar Patel a sugar-free Ravi Jadeja?
There is no problem with saying you are not as good as one of the best players in the world.
Kimber, I've
but
watched
very
you
similar.
play cricket, and I'm astonished by the level of disrespect you give international cricketers.
Folks on strike again as plays a sweep shot to a full ball, and it's caught up mid-wicket, and Folks has gone. And England 116 for 7.
Morning, everyone. If you're joining us for the first time, England in dire straits over in Chennai. 116 for 7. Still 365 adrift of India, and Joe Root might well have gone too. Absolute sitter was dropped at backward point by Mohammad Siraj. So it's been a very difficult morning, but as expected, the pitch has done a great deal, spinning and bouncing and even offering a bit to the seamers, and there isn't much fault attributed to the batsman. I mean, listen, when people play shots, it looks like they might have defended a ball, and had they done so, they might have stayed in. Equally, when people defend, you wonder why they haven't attacked. So the great problems of batsmanship in bowler-friendly conditions will forever be a fascinating part of the game. Joe Root is, though, unbeaten with 33 from 90 balls, just 3 boundaries in that. Ben Foakes went on the stroke of lunch, so Moeen Ali hasn't yet to walk to the wicket. But as I say, a very difficult morning for England batting in general. Let's reflect upon it. We won't reflect upon it now then. We'll just we've had the highlights. Apologies, okay, I misunderstood my instructions there. That happens, you see, because nothing is perfect, not even in the world of broadcasting. But thankfully, without his Peaky Blinders hat, come off. Where's that beautiful cap gone, Goffey?
I'm not really a cap man. I just had it on this
but
morning, but
you
as soon
look-
as I got in here, I took it off.
You look legendary on it. In it, I should say. Okay, so I've explained the situation this morning. Are you with me that it's very difficult to attribute blame to England's batsmen? And would you argue that now conditions are pretty much unfair or not?
Well, of course, difficult conditions, and as I said, I think they accepted defeat, probably England, coming into today's play. But the conversation would have been, let's try and take it to day 5. It's going to be very difficult to bat against. You saw Ben Stokes, he tried to guts it out and bat time. It didn't really work for him, the frustration when he got out. What I would say is, during the match, I think England's best partnership in the match has been probably 35 between Pope and Foakes, which is not ideal, realistic when you're looking at partnerships. You look at 4 batsmen that have been out this innings, I think sweeping. We've just been talking at the start of play, me and Matt, about sweeping against the spin in these conditions. Going to be very difficult on a pitch that's obviously deteriorated the way it has. But I think we all expected, once we had that deficit, the first innings, but England were going to get beaten this test match. It was just when.
Okay, Gareth Batty is here as well. I mean, the question a lot of people will be asking, I know it's a hard question, but how can R. Ashwin get 100 against England and England barely be able to get 100 as a team?
I think it's on this surface it's very difficult because you can have all the skill and all the technique in the world. Certainly for vast periods, for large parts of the game, you had to have a little bit of luck as well, and I think everybody that has scored runs would have had that little bit of luck along the way, and it's not often that you require that in international sport. But I think on this occasion, on this surface, if you don't have that tiny little bit of rub of the green look, whatever you want to call it, you're going to get out. There is a ball in there to take your wicket with all the technique and all the skill in the world, and I think that is the thing of how you manage that and how you cope with that.
Saying that though, Bats, I mean, you can't go through the Indian lineup in both innings and say every one of them had luck. I mean, there's been some great cricket from India in the first innings. Rohit Sharma 161. You've got Rahane 67. You've got Pant, who made 58 not out and played some wonderful cricket. Then in the second innings, you got Kohli, who played a magnificent 62. And Ashwin, I agree with you. I think Ashwin had a little bit of luck in getting 106, but he took the attack to England and come in with a technique and a game plan to score runs.
Agreed, and you can do that when you're in the ascendancy in the game. But out of all those players, I think Sharma, from memory, is the only one. I think he was about 100 and... Oh no, hang on a second. Sharma was given a life, was he about 70? And then about 120 or 30, something like that. But his innings was as near perfect as you can get on a surface like this. I'm not taking a second away from how well he played. But I think what we're saying is now, when you're the underdog, when you're almost foot on the throat stuff, you need that element of luck to survive.
But England have put no partnerships together, Mark. I mentioned that at the start. I mean, that's been the biggest downfall for England. I think, I'm sure of it. I'm sure Jared will check. But the biggest partnership in the game for England, what is it? Was it Pope and Folkes? I think that's the biggest partnership. I mean, it's just not ideal.
No, that's all cool. And I agree about the chances missed. Ashwin dropped twice and missed stump once. I'm afraid... And again, this isn't a criticism, it's just a level of talent. India's spinners are better, so they're harder to play. And India are more experienced as a team against spin. We're seeing from Joe Root that you can cope, though he's been dropped and got lucky with an LBW. He's got 33. Moeen Ali's going to be taking guard. Ben Foakes got out to Kuldeep Yadav, trying to sweep or paddle really a very full ball, and he got a leading edge and it was caught at mid-wicket. Anyway, here comes Kuldeep now to... no, he doesn't. He gets into his delivery stride and pulls out of it. 116 for 7, the score at lunch. It's a lead of 365. So if India do win soon, it would be a massive margin of victory. Here's Kuldeep finally to bowl the ball, and it's left alone outside off stump, taken by Rishabh Pant as he jumps in the air to take it with that extra bounce. I think India will be pleased with the morning. There was thought they might run through England. That hasn't quite been the case. 4 men are around the bat. City point and leg slip to go with Slip and Gully. It's a nice delivery from Kuldeep, very straight, and spins away from Moeen Ali, but he plays a pretty competent forward defensive shot, and it runs off the blade and goes to square cover where there's no run. Conditions here is superb. It's as nice a day as you'll see. No smog in that Chennai air today. Much clearer. The blue in the sky is that nice. Oh, that's just lobbed over Gully. Wow, that came off the shoulder of Moeen Ali's bat. That's how much that ball bounced and spun a bit too. And Kuldeep frustrated. Moeen Ali very lucky to survive a magnificent delivery.
Beautiful piece of bowling here from Kuldeep. He's gone up and down. We've not seen much of this in the game. Most of the spinners have been quite direct, but he used a bit of flight, a bit of guile, got the ball to drop out of the air, spinning away from Moeen Ali in the top edge of the bat, and a little bit of thumb. That's the tiny element of luck that we're talking about. Bounces up and over Rohit Sharma. I'm not sure he did a huge amount wrong with the shot, but I'm happy to be proved wrong.
And with India having 3 different spinners in their side, that's the variety they've got. They've got a left-arm spinner who's quite direct. He's tall. They've got Ashwin, natural variations. Then you've got Kuldeep Yadav, a wrist spinner, who actually has to make the ball go up and turns it both ways. So they've got a bit of everything, haven't they?
They have, yeah, dead right. And by direct, the guys mean they really bowl it flat and into the pitch and very straight. And that means you're committed to play at things that are coming at you quickly and spitting out of the rough. They're not bowling the ball up and getting it to dip so much. More like Kumble, say. Anyway, it's to be Akshar Patel to bowl to Joe Root, and he plays forward and plays and misses. Lovely, lovely left arm spin.
That's a good point on Kumble, because I think he set the benchmark, and I think where the pace he bowled and how difficult he was in Indian conditions as the benchmark for the rest of the spinners coming through, and the pace they've tried to bowl at. You look at Abidjan, you know what I mean? You look at Ashwin.
Yeah, no, it is a good point. England had one as there's a little false moment there. The bowler got into his delivery stride and pulled out. England had years ago had Derek Underwood who could do that, but not many others. Oh my goodness me, that's an enormous spinner. Oh, and it's out. It's an incredible bit of bowling. Joe Root has played forward to a truly unplayable delivery, and he's done well even to edge it. It's kind of hit his bat really and flown to slip, and the end of a brave rear guard from Root. It comes on the back of as unplayable a ball as I've ever seen, I think.
Yeah, beautiful piece of bowling again here from Axar. It's as much about the line bowling where he's bowling it into middle stump, so he's committing Joe Root to the shot. Has to play at it, pushes forward, does everything right, and hits the top hand, his left hand of the bat, and then spoons up to slip. It's an unplayable ball, bursts through the surface. That's what we meant by the little bit of... I mean, you can't do anything about that.
No, funny enough, that was very Derek Underwood-like. On the wet pitches, he used to get it to slam into people's gloves like that. I really feel for Joe Root, being a difficult game from first to last, but his good form continued in this innings, even though he was beaten so often. There were good things about his batting, and it's tough out there now. England are 8 down for 116 runs.
It is. He can't do anything about that. That's what we were talking about, the pace in which Axar Patel bowls it. He bowls it into the pitch. It's dusted in the pitch. It's turned. It's bounced. Joe Root, unfortunately for him, is good enough to actually get something on it, and it just catches his glove, doesn't it, on the way through. Unplayable delivery, and if the pitches carry on like this throughout the rest of the series, it will be interesting, and the toss of the coin will become an important factor. It already is, but it'll become the ultimate factor. And the difference in the two spin departments, I think, has been evident, especially in this test match, in helpful conditions.
I think it's also shown that the game is played on the front foot now, and if you get into a leading position...
What beats him outside the off stump? Ollie Stone, I haven't had time to tell you that Ollie Stone has taken guard, and he gets a ball that doesn't actually spin, it just misses off stump. He was beaten by the line as much as anything, and beaten by the spin this time. I think this will be a difficult journey for Ollie Stone. They keep replaying the television, the wicket of Joe Root, and I think everybody sort of understands. Even the Indian players didn't get overexcited, as if to say, well, I don't know how you play that. That's a nice shot by Ollie Stone off the back foot, trying to drive through the covers, but it's picked up by the extra cover fielder. There's no run, not much of a batting career to speak of, averaging 6.5, best score in Test match cricket of 19. Well, he's only his second test. Here's Axar Patel, and that doesn't spin at all, and he plays it straight to mid-on and right out of the middle of the bat, and probably wonders what all the fuss is about. End of a good over from Axar. They got rid of the England captain. 116 for 8's the score. England miles behind and tumbling to defeat.
He's been impressive, hasn't he? It's his debut as well, Axar Patel. We talked about him. He would have played in the first test if he would have been fit, but he's come into this second test match, and he has been a proper handful and been a great partner from our Ashwin.
Yeah, I mean, we spoke about it the first test match, that Ashwin was missing Jadeja. As soon as these two teams lined up, Axar Patel was the difference for me. Not because he's got wickets now. First innings, I think he was the difference for Ashwin getting 5 foot. He's just perfect for these sorts of conditions.
Moeen Ali facing Kuldeep Yadav. And that's a big spinning delivery way outside off stump that Moeen thinks about cutting and then pulls out of it. Actually good, very good take from Rishabh Pant, who's had a good time behind the stumps in the main. There he comes again and beats Moeen Ali with another good bouncy spinner.
It's a difficult one this as well for Virat Kohli, because he's got Ashwin, who's probably 1 in 10 in the match, but he's realising he's bowled a lot of overs in Australia. He's got a lot of overs to bowl in the next 2 test matches, and it's a good opportunity actually to rest him. It's good thinking this from Virat Kohli, and give Kuldeep some overs.
Here. In fact, Moeen Ali left that ball. It went under his gloves. Down he comes. Lovely strike by Moeen Ali. A free-flowing 6 over wide long on.
Moeen Ali, come to the party. What a beautiful, elegant shot this is. Skip down the wicket, fraction offside of the ball, a full swing, extension of the arms, hit over wide long on. Wonderful shot. Moeen Ali is pleasing on the iron, strikes the ball as well as anybody in the world.
Oh, he does. I mean, when we think back to his best days as a batsman, we were always impressed by his style every bit as much as the substance. Played so many important innings for England, and he's just gone quiet with the bat. It's been a very difficult couple of years for Moeen Ali. Pulled out of international cricket during 2019. It would be lovely to see his best form back. But of course, these are very difficult conditions. Men around the bat, the ball's spinning a lot. But because Kuldeep has to bowl it up, as we've discussed, he's easier to get down the pitch to. Left arm wrist spinner, and he comes again. And he does bravely throw it up there, and Moeen Ali just defends on the front foot.
Almost exactly what Pant did to Jack Leach. Ball goes up out the hand, he's down the wicket. Doesn't let him settle. Exactly what Moeen Ali's done there.
Yeah, true. The main ball bowled by Yadav is the one that leaves Moeen Ali, as that one does, and he leaves it alone in turn outside off stump. Whereas the ball that is bowled to Rishabh Pant by Jack Leach comes into him. That is, if you like, levelled up a bit by the fact that it's pitching in the rough, wide of off stump. So it's interesting how many little subtleties there are to batting. Moeen Ali cuts, short ball, fine shot, 4, simple. Punished, and the end of a good over for England, 126 for 8.
And the thing with wrist spinners, if they're not at the real eye elite level like a Shane Warne, the thing is they're going to give you balls to it, aren't they, bats? But if you take that risk and you come down and you don't quite get to the pitch, they're more likely to get bigger turn, more turn, and more likely to go past the outside edge of Moeen Ali and get stumped. But also you're going to get more bad deliveries.
Yeah, and that's the whole cat and mouse part of the game. Moeen Ali running down and taking that calculated risk to hit him back over his head, and 2 balls later he gets that short and wide one that is an easier and more percentage risk shot in his favour, and a beautiful shot, cut shot in front of square, showing the slowness of the pitch now for 4. Beautiful batting from Moeen Ali.
It'll be Akshar Patel to continue to Ollie Stone. And he goes to sweep, and they appeal, and he's given him out. I'm not surprised. Ollie Stone is going to review it. I fear this will be hitting the top of the stumps.
Review for leg before.
I think it just held its line, and I think it's hit him in front. It's a tight one.
It's a tight one, Mark. I think the only thing is the height, but again, pretty straight.
Keep rolling.
Ooh, it hits him on the groin area of his back leg. Is it missing off stump bats?
Stand by.
Feel like it just straightened as opposed to spun a lot past the line. I feel like it's cannoning into the stumps,
Yeah,
but
I'm with you. Middle and off, about 2/3 of the 3/4 of the way up. That's my guess. Let's have a listen.
Ultra is coming, boys. Keep rolling, keep rolling. There's a gap. Keep rolling. Finish up to pad. No bat involved. Ball tracking, please, when you're ready. Pitching outside. Impact umpire's call. Hitting wickets. Go to the on-field umpire. Virender. You're on the screen.
Confirmation
Stay
that
with your
umpire
decision.
Virender Sharma's got it right. Akshar Patel has another wicket, his 5th. A 5-wicket haul on debut for India in Chennai. What a special moment for a young man who looks like a terrific cricketer.
Absolutely well deserved. He's bowled beautifully the whole game, and he's been a real handful for these English batsmen in the second innings, with his pace in which he's bowled it, the bounce, the amount of turn he's got. And that one, as Bats just mentioned, it went straight on with the arm, didn't really turn. Very difficult conditions for England to bat, with some turning, some not. You see Joe Root get out with one that turned viciously and bounced and ripped the glove. Then you see that one to Ollie Stone, but they went straight on with the arm. Very, very difficult situation to be batting in, but 126 for 9 here on TalkSport 2. Stuart Broad comes to the crease, another one of the cricketers that's, guess what, my favourite, is on a pair.
Oh, is he? Right. Okay. Our TalkSport listeners are joining us now, and the news is that England are all but done. 126 for 9. miles and miles behind India. How many miles? They're 355 runs behind India. So they're about to lose the second test. We're only soon after lunch on the fourth day, but India's cricket has been exceptional. Akshar Patel now is going to bowl to Stuart Broad. Broad goes down low to sweep and hits him on the pad. There's a slip, a leg slip and a short leg. It's been a very difficult day for England batsmen as the ball has spun viciously, and even a player as high class as Joe Root has found it very difficult. He's England's top scorer, but he just got out to a truly unplayable ball from Akshar Patel that hit his glove and flew off to I think Gully. Moeen Ali's 10 not out. Stuart Broad's just arrived, and he goes back and defends, and it goes off an inside edge out to deep backward square leg. With me are Darren Gough and Gareth Batty, two England bowlers of the past. Goughy, of course, a great character, a great personality in the game, but it's going to be a solemn dressing room when it's over, Goughy.
Well, it is indeed. They've been totally outplayed from ball one by India. It's been a magnificent performance under a little bit of pressure. Virat Kohli losing test matches as captain.
Down comes Moeen Ali, and it just nails it into the crowd. A massive six over long on with the easiest swing of the bat. What a shot from Moeen Ali.
God, Moeen Ali, wow, what a wonderful shot. He knows where he's going to bowl it. He's got to throw it into that rough from over the wicket. Akshar Patel. Moeen Ali down the wicket, skips down, full flow of the bat, like he's on the 18th fairway, just chipping it into the green, and it sails miles back.
Down he comes again, and there he goes again. Another one. Hit even better. Drilled it.
Well, he's getting into some kind of form for the one-day series that's to follow. He's putting himself in for the auction for the IPL. I think that's today, is it, or tomorrow? So he's up for hopefully going to get a franchise. With batting like this, he's got half a chance.
He's sticking a note on the fee.
Well, of course, there is something in that. He is available too.
Spot on. He got released, didn't he, by his team?
A real reminder of Moeen Ali's talent. I was surprised he didn't play more. He was with Virat Kohli at the Royal Challengers Bangalore franchise.
Well, he's sending out a message to Virat. Listen, if you want somebody who can bowl a bit of off spin,
get me back
and smack a few at the end, I'm available.
Well, Virat knows that. He played a couple of games last season, but he wasn't at his best. He didn't get much opportunity to shine, but he wasn't at his best. But this certainly is his best ball striking. Mid-on's going back. They're keeping the four close fielders in. Mid-on is back and mid-wicket is back. Mid-wicket's quite square. I think he can become a bit straighter. Deep backward square leg is back as well. And it looks as if... is Akshar Patel switching to bowl? No, he's staying over the wicket. Here he comes again. Down he comes again, Moeen Ali. Now this one's higher and higher, and quite long enough. And six more. 3 in a row. Breathtaking stroke play.
This is absolutely breathtaking. I mean, Moeen Ali, the ball's turning, it's bouncing. He's come over the wicket, he's bowling into the rough. Just think, people, this is not easy to do what he's doing here, Moeen Ali. He's got nowhere near that one, but he's backed his eye, he's backed his technique, and he's hit it in the middle of the bat, and that's the biggest one of the three bats.
Yeah, Akshar's done what he wanted there. He's pulled his length back. He's hitting that. Well, the ball's probably bouncing up to midriff height, so he's nowhere near the ball, Moeen Ali, which generally means if you do make contact, it goes a bit further because you're nowhere near it. But wow, what skill involved from Moeen Ali. 28 off 12 in this losing cause is brilliant. A little counteracting, a few combinations at the end of this game. Brilliant from Moeen Ali.
Well, it's a cameo of note, this.
The chase is on, Matt.
The chase is on, and nice for all our TalkSport listeners to come in at this moment, because I wouldn't say it's been a morning of despair, but it's been a difficult morning to watch England be so outplayed, having played so well in the first test. Remember, they're one up in the series, at least until the next wicket falls. So subtle changes to the field now. What'll happen? Here comes Kuldeep Yadav. Stuart Broad pulled out, or did Yadav put out? Well, Broad, because Broad's a good striker, or would he just try to give the strike back to Moeen Ali? 145 for 9, and Broad drives. We haven't seen any of those. Glorious stroke through extra cover. Honestly, there's been no cover driving. It's not that sort of a pitch, but Broad's played a beauty.
Well, that's a fantastic shot from Stuart Broad. And it always amazes me with Broad, much is talked about his batting. He's got such a good eye. He's such a good ball striker. And when he gets going, he can hit some long balls. And that is a proper batsman shot. Cover drive, ball spinning away from the left-hander from Kuldeep. Just leant into it, drove it on the floor all the way for 4. Fantastic shot. 149 for 9.
Now short extra cover comes in, as well as the 4 round the bat. Here's Kuldeep again. He bowls and Broad has a big swing at it and misses it. It's taken by the wicket-keeper. It spun a bit and kept lower than some, but that was an all-or-nothing shot from Stuart Broad.
Yeah, we've seen already today it's a difficult pitch to sweep on, but it's definitely Stuart Broad's shot. Loves the sweep and he's very good at it. It won't stop him sweeping. He'll definitely keep having a go with that shot.
Yeah, there's a bit too much slog sweep in it. I think if he went more to sweep, which he does, as Gareth said, he does very well, it would fare better for him. Kuldeep Yadav, the left arm wrist spinner, young looking fellow, does give it a good rip, comes into bowl now. Broad is back and defends very solid, and then there's a weird bit of cricket because Gully fields it, backhands it to Rishabh Pant, the wicketkeeper, who wasn't expecting it, so he kicks it, attempts to flick it up into the air, doesn't manage to do it. Kohli bursts into laughter, and it's a pretty good bit of football. You just need to be on hand to volley it in the back of the net, really, but no one was. Here's Kuldeep again. Now Broad does try a more orthodox sweep, but he doesn't get anything of it. It hits him on the pad and rolls out onto the leg side. England 149 for 9. As their resistance comes to an end, it's doing so with a bit of a flourish from Moeen Ali and a nice cover driven 4 by Stuart Broad. Kuldeep again tosses this right up. Broad blocks it firmly to short extra cover. What goes through Broad's head? Does he play in the next test match when Anderson and Archer are both available? All of these big questions for the England selectors going forward. Kuldeep again bowls now, and Broad gets an inside edge onto his defensive shot, which means he steals the strike off Moeen Ali. Will they take it? No, they won't. Broad will stay down that end. It means that Moeen Ali can have another crack at Akshar Patel.
Broad's got the best seat in the house down at the non-strikers end for this over now from Moeen Ali against Akshar Patel. 3 massive sixes the last over. Will Moeen keep going?
Well, the Masters are going to come back into the attack, though. I think it looks like it's Ashwin. Fantastic bowler. He can't take his 10 in the match, but it might be a little bit harder for Moeen Ali with the ball turning away from the left-hander. So we'll have to see how he plays this one.
The wickets to fall today: Dan Lawrence, stump Pant, bowled Ashwin 26, Joe Root caught Rahane, bowled Patel 33, Ben Stokes caught Kohli, bowled Ashwin 8, Ollie Pope caught Ishant Sharma, that is, bowled Patel 12, Ben Foakes caught Patel, bowled Kuldeep Yadav 2, Moeen Ali unbeaten with 28, Ollie Stone LBW, Patel no score, Stuart Broad unbeaten with 5. The wickets going the way of Akshar Patel, who has 5 for 60. Here comes R. Ashwin, bowls a dead straight ball to Moeen Ali, who defends it dead straight, and to Ashwin himself, who has 3 for 42. So a chance for him now to end up with a 4-wicket haul. Moeen Ali has driven that one absolutely. Oh no, not quite miles. It was far enough. There was a fielder running back, and it was hard to tell as the television camera focused in on the fielder. We couldn't see where the boundary was, and we're waiting to hear whether it's 4 or 6.
Well, it was Siraj. I think he's already spilled one, hasn't he? And as a fielder, that's the last thing you want there. You're running, ball gone over your head, you're running backwards, guessing for when it's going to come down. It's one bounce over the ropes there.
4, just in there. Now Moeen Ali sweeps him over mid-wicket for 6. This is astonishing stroke play. Given how hard it is, how hard it has looked to hit the ball, he now has 38 from 15 balls, and all of them against India's 2 most damaging spinners.
He's playing beautifully. He's getting full extension with his arms. So this one's a lap slog this time, a big sweep out into that mid-wicket area. But it's because his arms are fully extended, then a little flick of the wrist, giving the extra bit of power. It's going miles. He looks in imperious form.
It's a high skill factor what he's showing here on a pitch that's unpredictable with the turn and bounce, and he's gone on to 38 off just 15 deliveries.
Without wanting to, put the mockers on it in any way, it's a much easier game when it's over. He's not actually playing for anything here, so he's very relaxed in the shoulders and clear in his head. Interesting that he's due to be going home after this test match for his turn to have a rest. Now he gets down and slog sweeps. There's a fielder out there, goes one bounce to him, and in it comes. Lovely return from Kuldeep over the top of the stumps to R. Ashwin. Just a single there for Moeen Ali, so Broad will now be on strike. It may be that Broad can defend 2 balls, and then Moeen Ali can have a crack at Kuldeep. That'd certainly be the plan. 3 men around the bat, Silly Point, Gully and Slip. Ashwin bowls, Broad goes forward, it hits his pad, so he keeps it out, it rolls out onto the leg side. 1 ball to survive, and then he can resume, as Gareth said, his seat in the house, which is the best one. Along with the umpire, Ashwin bowls again, it's short, spins, it's in. Well, that was the old Karim ball, ripped back into his pad, and they appealed for a catch at Silly Point, but he didn't hit it. The ball was missing leg stump, so we're nicely set up for Moeen Ali against Kuldeep Yadav, assuming it is Kuldeep Yadav. Is that who Kohli's going to bowl? He's thinking, he's talking, he's looking, he's pointing.
Does he bring the seamer back, the fast bowler?
Well, I don't know, but I do know that Andrew McKenna's taking over commentary.
Thank you, Mark. I'll be honest, I wasn't expecting to get back on. The way you were running through the tail there. 1 wicket for India to level this at 1-all. Dominated this from start to finish. And what a performance from them. 160 for 9 they have England in their second innings, but what an innings from Moeen Ali. 39 not out from 16 balls faced. Some late entertainment. But Virat Kohli is getting his troops in the right place, because it is going to be Kuldeep to continue. Gareth Batty.
Just shows it's sometimes nice playing without consequence. The game is gone here, but it's just freeing Moeen Ali up. He's no tension in his body. He's giving the full swing of the bat and showing what a wonderfully gifted player he is.
So Kuldeep then, left arm wrist spin over the wicket. Moeen comes down the pitch and drives him gloriously along the floor through the covers for 4. Moeen is into the 40s, 43 from 17.
But that is, for me, that's his best shot. Absolutely beautiful. It's so controlled. Used his feet, shimmied down the pitch. Absolutely right under his eye level. Just very wristy through the offside with the spin. Oh, magnificent shot that from Moeen.
Beautiful. It's how he's turned his body. He's turned his right side in to get that angle through that offside. Beautiful shot.
Kuldeep in for the 18th ball of Moeen's innings. He's come down the pitch, he's missed it, he's stumped. It's game over. Moeen Ali shakes hands with Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli and Ajinkya Rahane, and the game is done. India win by 317 runs as Moeen Ali came down the pitch, didn't quite get there. It spun past the outside edge of his bat as he was looking to launch another one into the stand, and England are bowled out for 164 in 54 overs and 2 balls, and the series is level at 1-1 after the 2 matches in Chennai.